everyone to come on in the room if you feel so inclined. Come on in the room. There's so much energy going on the planet. I was really debating on whether I would take on this type of topic in any way because for several reasons. And for those of you who don't know, I'm Latanya Taylor, affectionately known as the Rev Coach, the Juicy Spirit Mama, the priestess of purpose, pleasure, passion, and profits. And hey, love. And today we're going to talk about why purpose, pleasure, passion, and profits is probably on the mind of everybody right now, especially in a time where the season is so heavy. There's a reason why the season is so heavy. I want everybody to come in before I just jump right in and start talking about this, because I don't want to get off track, and I do want to get us right on to our meditation today. And the reason, again, I'm offering this is because this season right now, our mental health is everything. How we focus is everything. And I just want to tell you why. I want to give you enough of a reason for you to make a decision today how you are going to focus your energy, because how you focus your energy for the next week is important. This is the only, I think it's rare, first of all, to have 2 full moons in a particular month. And so because the Lion's Gate, which is known as 8-8, right? Sometimes, depending on the year, it'll even line up as 8-8-8. And so this is important for us to understand that what we see is by design. Some of what we see is by design. In other words, what do I mean by that? We are energetic beings, right? Would you agree? Just let me know if you can get with that, because I'm going to be talking to people on all different levels today. Well, not all, but let's just say the four levels of the mind, right? Because our DNA, many of us is already programmed for us to have a more sovereign relationship with our spirit, with our mind, to have a more of an inner authority about the decisions that we are making. But when you are being bombarded with messages that you don't have any choice, that you are feeling threatened, every year around this time, and let me just tell you, if you want to check what I'm saying, every year around this time, you can go to your Facebook. If you have a Facebook account, Facebook reminds you of what you were saying, what was happening, what you retweeted, what you reposted, what you shared. Would you agree? You get memories. If you go and look just on that basic reference point, you will see that there was an explosion of consciousness happening during this time of the year. There was something happening in the outer world to grab our attention, to suck our energy, right? But the truth is, when we talk about energetic vampires, when we talk about distractions, there's really no such thing as that unless you give it energy or you feel powerless. A lot of people are feeling powerless right now. Could you just let me know in the comments if you're there? Because I know this was unplanned, wasn't really advertised. My spirit got so full from all of the things that I've been hearing from people who are concerned, people who are are feeling like they're navigating this unseen place. We're in a season now where this has already been predicted. If you are new to quote unquote enlightenment or transformational psychology, if you are new to metaphysics, if you are new to mindset and you've only known mindset in the place of positive mindset, but you haven't known how to practice it, how to implement it, this is when you hear people refer to the work. Well, the universe, the cosmos, the planet, it goes through seasons and cycles just like you do, just like we do. And we are influenced by the seasons and the cycles. So for those of you who have been taught by religion not to believe in astrology or not to accept anything that sounds like astrology, then consider astronomy. Consider the science, because there are enough people out here teaching the science for you to be educated versus speaking from an uneducated, fear-based place. And there is so much happening. And if you're watching, share this out for me, please, especially anybody on my team. If you're watching, if you don't mind sharing this out, if we know that algorithm has changed on Facebook, where many people are not seeing your post and that type of thing. So when we look at what we're experiencing, a woman is a very good example. And this is why the woman is the key to a lot of planetary change that we see, particularly the woman in the West. And of course, as a woman who is melanin rich, who is melanated, then there's a certain level of responsibility and surrender that is required during this season. Okay, you're still with me, right? So just taking the example of our menstrual cycles, for example, we can agree, no matter what your religious background, no matter what you believe, that we all women have a menstrual cycle. And oftentimes it is influenced by the moon. I'm trying to plug up my phone, not realizing that it was low when I started. So here we go with the technology stuff. So if you look at a woman's menstrual cycle, many of us can also chart it and document. If you've been taught how to chart and document, this is another conversation for women to have about ourselves and our bodies, because it's a science project in itself. And so, but we can agree that if you look at when you come on your cycle, or when you're ovulating, when you're horny, when you have cravings, when your mood shifts, that type of thing, oftentimes you can look at the planets to see when the moon is full, when there's a new moon. Most of the time we are either ovulating or bleeding around that time. Even if you no longer have a cycle, you are still affected by the cyclic behavior. Even though a woman who is, or a goddess who's going into her crone season, she is still on a cycle, okay? Not bleeding, but we are secular beings, okay? So that established, right? You with me? Who's with me as I'm talking? Right now, we are in the month of August, where so much is coming at humanity right now. There's withholding of truth. There's the revelation of truth. There are the truth seekers, the truth tellers. Yes, would you agree? And then there are those who are confused, right? We already know that God is not the author of confusion, if we could just start with that. So when you feel yourself being confused, not knowing which way to go, or if you are about to make a decision out of fear, you're making, so whatever you are choosing right now for your purpose, your career, your job, for your family, for your health right now, this is a time to be deliberate, to be aware of exactly what you're taking in, what you're putting out in terms of your fear, your worry, and your focus. Why? Because this is a potent time. And during this potent time, you will create the reality that you focus on. Hear what I'm saying? You will create the reality that you focus on. Y'all with me? You will create the reality that you focus on. If you don't believe what I'm saying, and you are biblically based, Christian based in any way, let's begin with unto you as you believe. In other words, you get to be right. Now, let me tell you the cosmic influence of this particular time. The cosmic influence of this particular time is that we've already had an alignment. This entire year is influenced by Aquarius energy. Okay. I've been talking about this since the beginning. Go check out my videos on YouTube, the ones that are still public and available. And some of these things we are going to have to pull away from public platforms to have private, high-level conversations. That ought to bless somebody, because some things we don't need to be talking about on these platforms that we do not own. You hear me? So don't get our feelings hurt when we are being censored, when information is being censored, when information is now being controlled by AI. Why? Because we're moving into a system where there is a new God in humanity, and there's a new paradigm shift happening through technology, including some of the technology that's being introduced into our bodies that are being called by 3 letters. We have DNA and we have RNA. Go look up the inventor of RNA on your own time. In other words, we're in a season where you cannot afford to be uninformed and just regurgitating and repeating what the media has told you without information, without and not having any grounding, because you'll be like dust, moved and just swayed in every direction. Every time there's a frustration or upset, you'll be going up and down with it and never focusing on the vision that you have for your life, for yourself. Divide and conquer is not a new game. Divide and conquer is an old game, and it's happening right now. We are looking at a time where a new segregation is about to happen if we're not careful. And we do have a choice in the matter. But many of us think that we don't have the choice. So those of you who think you don't have the choice, you are the ones who need to be seeking as much information as possible on how do I respond to the choice I know that is best for me. Once again, this is influenced by this particular season, because the Lion's Gate is called the Lion's Gate because it's in the season of Leo. It's called the Lion's Gate because it's under the influence. If you don't believe in astrology, you can put it in the corporate language that you desire. There is a translation for it, but I'm going to use the cosmic references at this time. Okay? And the reason is, when you have this energy, you have this full moon, this pull, this 8-8 energy, the earth is saying that there's a portal open for you to create in the next half the desires of your heart. This is a potent time where if you know the function of melanin, just melanin, if you know the function of melanin, and I say that unapologetically because this is where it all starts. If you know the function of it, and there are teachers, go see Dr. Jewel Pookrum, who has been teaching for years women how to heal their body. And then from there, she's evolved to teaching the science of our melanin and our mindset and our health and our healing and how to stay whole. There are people who have been teaching on the planet that have been ignored. But this system and this season is calling for an evaluation of what choices we are making for our own inner authority. And if you are a person who's never known your inner authority outside of the definition of somebody else, of people pleasing, of conformity, of fear, there are some people who do not know how to function outside of survival and fear. But if you know how to function outside of survival and fear, which is many empaths, many people who are creatives, many people who are heart-led leaders, many people who are healers, who are influencers in many different ways, ministry leaders, many teachers now. This is a time and a season that we are being called higher. And if our focus is on a low vibrational level, we are going to get that created over and over again. Y'all with me so far? The only way, when we look at the energy that's governing this season, this Lion's Gate portal, this 8-8 energy, 8 represents infinity, but it also represents karma. That's the 8. It represents karma. So at a full moon is going to help you clear and release. And even if you don't know all of this terminology, you don't have to, because you're an energetic being, you're going to feel it. So people are feeling a pull on their spirit and they don't know, some don't know why. Others know why, but then there are those who cannot even, who don't feel safe to share, because the environment now of this season of information is so toxic that you have to be careful of casting your pearl amongst swine consciousness. In other words, when you look at this Aquarius time and this Aquarius season, everybody has the right to choose what is best for them and be met with love and with kindness, rather than separation and judgment and breakdown and fear. So when we're talking about people who are right now in fear, torn from their families, being threatened with not having access, we are being forced in this season to consider also what we consider safe. How many people now are upset? I've gotten so many messages of people who are upset, who ran to do things because they were in fear, and now they're like, but now I have no guarantees. It's no different than when we run into relationships and we're looking for insurance, we're looking for a guarantee, and then there is no insurance or guarantee in love. There is no insurance and guarantee in anything. So what we are defining as permanent, our money, our relationships, our family, is now all under evaluation. And and why is it that in 2021 that we're almost experiencing a Groundhog Day of where we were just last year? Sometimes it can feel like doom and gloom if that's where your mind is programmed. If you've been programmed by hell and damnation, if you've been programmed by fear of God, then you worry about whether the eye is really on the sparrow. You really do. And so just like there's a scripture that says unto you as you believe, there's another one that says, I believe, help my unbelief. So there are people who have been talking the talk amongst us. There are people who have been talking about higher consciousness and all of that. But then what happens when you're being bombarded at every turn? Where people are telling you that if you don't do this, then you can't do that. Why are we in this season? And if we're constantly reacting, we're never slowing down to say, here's what I would like to happen for my life. But there's a flip side of that. And this is where it takes courage, which is represented by the lion. The lion is of Leo represents confidence, leadership, courage, authority. It represents love, compassion, and the heart chakra. Our heart chakra, the earth has chakras. If you notice, if you look at what's been happening, there have been reports all over this continent of earthquakes, of floods. So the earth is speaking. So when you see the full moon activity, when you see man going into space, and there's just like I use Bible. If you don't know me, I use Quran because I am multilingual spiritually, and I teach other people how to be multilingual as well, so that we are not tripped up by religion. Because again, divide and conquer is created by man, not by God or God consciousness. And so I'm inviting you today just to settle yourself and to make a decision. What do I want to create for my reality right now? If you are only on the planet to pay bills, to have a job and to pay bills, then that's where your consciousness will be focused. If you believe that the world is getting ready to end, then it is. If you think that it'll never be the same, then it won't. And it won't for the most part, because what is sameness, right? What is that? When humanity is calling out for us to honor each other's differences. But how can we honor differences if we're constantly reading attack from blogs to news to politicized agendas when it comes to our health, from a level of medical tyranny and corporate greed that is happening? And there are some people who don't believe it. They don't want to hear it. They just want you to go and help them get their lives back to normal so we can continue on with business as usual. There are others who know that this is a time and a season where something is happening that is calling us higher, deeper, and wider, right? Jabez prayed the prayer, expand my territory and let it not be a blessing. Let it not be a burden to me. Let it be a blessing. And so if you are looking for your territory to be expanded, and many of you are praying for your territory to be expanded. I just talked to someone today who made a decision, said, I'm not going back to this job. I'm waiting on the other shoe to drop. There are people where we have a rent moratorium, where this government knew that the moratorium on rent was going to end. And instead of staying in session, they went on recess for the month of August. So therefore, no other plans or policy could be made. Now, these are people you all voted for, but yet you stay loyal to a party and not hold the same people accountable for taking care of your needs like they swore that they would do to you when you were in a fray last year at this time. This age of looking for a savior, this is over. This age of looking for someone to rescue us is over. We are being called out of spiritual, emotional, and mental laziness. Hear what I said: spiritual, emotional, and mental laziness. We're being called out of it. All of us, no matter what you know already. Sometimes it's not even about that. All of us are being called to adjust and to change how we are doing things. So that and so there are some disruptors. There are people who were born for a time and a season such as this that are playing different roles. Do you know the role that you are playing? Are you playing the role that you were called to play? Are you? Are you playing the role that you are called to play, so that you can know what that means for you and define that on your terms? Any questions so far? So this Lionsgate, this 8-8 portal of energy is governed also by the planet Sirius. But that's where we get our word Sirius from. And so it's one of the brightest lights. So as light beings, which we are, you cannot have light without a shadow. And many of us have been taught that the shadow is something dark, and so when we talk about the shadow energy, we pray the prayer, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Come on now. Talk back to me. What shadow of death? If there was a valley and a shadow of death, then many of us are walking through that now. Every day when we're going outside and interacting with somebody now, we're walking in the valley of the shadow of death. But also the valley of the shadow of death is our ego. And are our leaders, people we have appointed as our leaders, are they operating in ego that is easing God out? Because if it requires you to trust more in somebody else than to trust your own inner authority, every teacher right now, ought to be bringing you closer to having a direct relationship with your higher self so that you can know which way to go, what decision to make, and how to use your tools. The most important tools that we are going to need is our breath. Our breath has been under attack since March 2020, when people were afraid to breathe fresh air that is designed to heal you. When we start to being afraid of nature, come on now, talk to me. When we are afraid of I don't want to get too deep into this again publicly, but what I'm saying is our mental health matters right now. We're going to need skills of meditation, of breath. We're going to need to know the time that we are in and what is governing, so you won't react. See, when you know you're in a certain season, chaos, you know that order will be born out of chaos. You hear what I'm saying? Order will be born out of chaos. And when your third eye is open, you will not look at things just with these eyes. Because if you look with these eyes and hear with these ears, you have to be able to see with another eye and another gateway. And when those gateways are open, then we can open to the gateways that the planet has. The earth has chakras. They're called ley lines. So therefore, when I say that there's an earthquake and the ley lines shift on the planet, then that means shift is happening everywhere. Because that's where the butterfly effect comes into play. There is no shift happening in Africa, in the Philippines, typhoons and earthquakes and floods and wars and rumors of wars. There's nothing that is happening in a far distant land that is not going to be affected by right here where you are right now. So we better look at the signs and the symbols, because melanated people have enough of a history of not trusting protection. Come on. From we the people, from the Constitution. All we have to do is look at history as if we have bumped our heads and forgotten not to hold the nefarious entities responsible. Why aren't we talking about reparations? But anyway, that's because we have to be our own repair. I pray that this meditation will help you center yourself in love. I pray that this meditation will ground the anxiousness. I pray that you will find your prayer tone to be able to move yourself out of repeating, because that's a prayer too. When you repeat media reports, when you repeat the fears of this one and that one, when you call each other with death reports and we see them on social media, there are so many souls that are grieving. Let me tell you, a perfect example is me. I had not seen my mother in a year. Even though I had to put my big girl panties on and make some adjustments because of her limitations and fears. And there are those of you who are watching, you are going to run into other people's limitations and fears for so many different reasons. Certain people have pre-existing ailments. Certain people have loved ones they're caring for. So many different things. Some people are in positions right now where their livelihood is being threatened and they've invested in something. So do you think that they need our judgment, our nastiness, our disassociation? But at the same time, we also need to have boundaries. We need to have boundaries for how far we're going to go. I don't know when this culture became so full of you have to disclose your political affiliation, your health status now. Well, hell, I guess now we might as well put a camera in the bedroom so you can see how I lay down, get up, and wipe my ass. That's sarcasm. Not that it's needed. But that being said, I too, I know that if I have found myself, because I'm a very sensitive soul, sometimes you can be carrying energy that is not yours. So if you feel depression, if you feel short patience, if you feel frustrated, know this, particularly to the empaths, to the creatives, to the heart-led souls, it may not be your energy that you're carrying. You may have picked up the energy that's being tossed around in the universe right now, over the airwaves. It may not be yours. Because mentally, I told myself one thing. I've had so many different conversations and that type of thing. But when I got into my mother's presence, the floodgates opened of the grief that I felt from not being able to get to her during this lockdown. We may be carrying grief that we don't even know. I've lost loved ones too. Imagine me as a minister who gets calls of people asking for prayer and intercession all the time. But guess what? When it's my turn, sometimes that's why I have to be grounded at my altar. That's why I can come to you, because faith comes through hearing. So when I'm talking, that before I don't speak, before I have some guidance that has grounded me. I don't rush into trending conversations. And if I feel too heavy, I know it's time for me to disconnect. And that's from people, places, or things. And I understand that some of us don't have the option. You hear me? So I'm going to do this meditation. The full meditation will be available in the Patreon. This is our altar call for August. It's a $5 membership for you to be a part, to get plugged in. You will be able to have access to the replays, old, new, and some bonus material. And I invite you to join me there. For those of you who are already on my YouTube channel, we're going to continue as well as Rebirth Woman, because membership has its privileges. If you're watching on IG, thank you for watching. I want to invite you to either subscribe to my YouTube channel or come on over to Altar Call Level 1, Tier 1 on Patreon, so that we can go higher. See you on the other side at IG. Okay. Whew. Okay, y'all. So this is the next half. If you're ready, let's prepare ourselves. Make sure that you don't have anything in your lap. Your lap is clear. May our hearts be open. Come on. May our hearts be open. May our hearts be open. May our hearts be open. Take a breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. May our hearts be open. Take another breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. May our hearts be open. In through your nose. May our hearts hold it, hold it, hold it. Darling, darling, you're beautiful. Gotta keep your head up. Turn this
Never
down.
let anything bring you down. Sunshine will always come around. Stay strong.
So stay right there.
Have such a beautiful soul.
Let the words just guide you into your own prayers. See, feel, and imagine that there's a white light. See, feel, and imagine that the white light is right ahead of you. If you're looking at me, don't worry. If you're not looking at me, see it in your mind's eye. Right at the center of your forehead, see, feel, and imagine that there's a light hovering right around the center of your brows. See, feel, and imagine that with every breath in through your nose and out through your mouth, that the light gets brighter. See, feel, and imagine that the light has a feeling, a vibration, and that you begin to feel it all around your head. See, feel, and imagine that each breath brings the light closer, so close you can feel it kissing your third eye. See, feel, and imagine with the next breath that you are inhaling the breath in through the third eye, through the center of your brow. So take a breath. See, feel, and imagine that this light is coming in contact with all thoughts of fear. See, feel, and imagine that this light is dissolving all worry and anxiety. See, feel, and imagine that this light is settling the karmic debts of your mind. And making way for you to be available for new thought, for new inspiration, for a new way of seeing things. You don't have to know what. See, feel, and imagine that the energy on your mind, on your head, is guided by the light. See, feel, and imagine. Without words, see, feel, and imagine that the energy around your head is now moving down around your face and hovering now over your throat. Breathe in the light through the throat and breathe it out. Now right here, stay right here. See, feel, and imagine that you're breathing in the light and pushing it out with a ha breath. Again, in through your nose and out through your mouth with a ha breath. Now do it faster. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Come on, find the rhythm of the music. You may feel yourself getting hotter. Let it rise. Let the energy rise. Keep breathing. Now slow it down. Now find the natural rhythm of your breath. See, feel, and imagine just your breath coming through your nose and at the tip of your lip. Now, in that place, see, feel, and imagine that you are safe. Allow the light now to move down into your heart. Right in your heart. Breathe in through your nose. And now focus the light right in your heart. Do you feel safe in your own heart? Do you feel peace in your own heart? See, feel, and imagine what courage looks like for you. See, feel, and imagine what your unique ability looks like. What your unique assignment is that lives in your heart chakra. See, feel, and imagine the desires of your heart. The desires of your heart. The ones that nobody knows about. The ones that are not based in fear. Affirm your safety. And breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Stay with me. Now take another breath. Slow your breath down again. Move the energy. Give them energy now permission to move down. Right into your solar plexus, right into your navel. For your intuition. This is the season for us to be able to listen to our intuition. Anger comes from the gut. Worry comes from the gut. Second guessing ourselves comes from the gut. People pleasing comes from the gut. Not being able to digest what is and what can be comes from the gut. Can you trust your intuition, your inner guidance, the I am of you? To trust and to lean not on thy own understanding, but in all thy ways to acknowledge the God within you. Even if you were to make a mistake, to know that you can't really make a mistake, that your steps are ordered. Do you feel safe? Even if you don't, give yourself permission. If you forgot, remind yourself. And breathe. And now, give yourself permission to move the light down into the sacral, into your reproductive organs, the place of nurture, the place of pleasure. Has the energy been locked? Have you given yourself permission to experience joy when there's so much pain on the planet? Yes. What are you holding here? What does your menstrual cycle tell you? What is your relationship saying to you? What is the condition of your sexual energy, your sexual health, your body positivity? What are you creating? Everything is not just about birth and the physical. What are you creating from the inside out? What are you owning? Stay in your meditation. I'm holding the space for you. This is the space where you get to think about what you do want and desire versus what you don't want. Now take a breath and give yourself permission now to move the light energy even down further into the roots. Each one of us is a living map of the tree of life. And our roots right now are core beliefs and thoughts that we are investigating, revisiting, redefining. Some of the core beliefs we have held on to are not ours, and they no longer serve us. The things we believed about money, the money is changing. Technology is changing. Some of you are being called to pull up roots. Some of you are being called to be the one in your family that interrupts the pattern and the pathologies, and whatever that means for you. Do you feel courage here to confront the institutions and institutional knowledge that has not served you, that has not profited you? In your roots is your connection to your ancestors, to the things that are of ancient. There is nothing new under the sun. This is not the first plague, the first rumor of war. This is not the first attempt to segregate, to divide, to conquer. Now take a breath. Stay right here in this space. Now listen to your own voice, your own inner self. How are you being called to rise up? Take a breath. In this space, affirm your intentions, your prayers for your health, for your family, for the health of your money, that anything that will be taken away will be replaced, that any comfort zone will be found better than you had to leave. You'll find another space of comfort from the one that it's time for you to leave. What is your prayer? I am. Start with I am. It is my intention to speak to your DNA. Call forth ancient memory to be restored. Give your Akashic records permission to reveal the library of information that is in your bloodline and in your DNA. If you don't know what an Akashic record is, just call forth my memory, my ancient memories. Now take a breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And right there in the roots, you may have questions that need answers. I affirm for you that the answers are in the same room with the question, and that's you. You are the answer that you have been waiting for. You know it, and wherever you have resisted asking for more, know that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Prepare your mind, prepare your heart, prepare your family, prepare your household to mark the door with the covering. What does that mean? Ask those questions. Get into community with like minds and give people room and space to define what that means for them without penalty. When you're ready, take a breath, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, move in your seat. And when you're ready, open your eyes. And let me know when you're here and how you feel. All right. Whew. I don't know if I went over. I'm here. I'm waiting for you to let me know how was that for you. Tell me if that served you. Any questions? Any reflections? I do not own the rights to this music, I should say, for the video. Good, good. Shanta, don't forget, I know you are going through the 7-day New Mind, New Money. So don't forget to schedule your free consultation, Shanta. Good. You feel lighter. Okay. Waterfall and lots of chill and hotness. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. You feel wonderful. Okay. Someone says my soul is stirred up. Okay. My soul is stirred up too. Sometimes we just need a reminder. Now we're going to do this again on Sunday. How many of you are willing to join me for an old school Rebirth Sunday in Clubhouse though? Let's bring the Rebirth community to Clubhouse. They've never experienced the Rebirth Sunday. How many of you would like to join me? Just put Rebirth Sunday. I'll make sure that you have the information. If you're going to join me for Rebirth Sunday, Sunday morning, old school Sunday morning. We're going to do this again because this gateway is open and you don't want to wait until the 8th to get in position to prosper, to get into position to be healing, to get in position to be potent. You don't want to wait at the last minute in the process of doing things at the last minute. You want to get in position right now. Come on now. So listen, thank you all for those of you who joined, who stayed on. If you are in Rebirth Woman, I encourage you to join the Patreon membership. You all know that I shared with you, I'm getting ready to go through a very sacred process. And my time on video is going to be limited, but I'm going to be depositing into that space, that Patreon space, some daily meditations, some other bonus material. And of course, I have something very special for those who are in the mastermind to get us focused even on setting up our money, our Bitcoin, our currency, our systems for our business. If you are a new entrepreneur or you are leaving your job, this is the time for you to get your mind right so that you can get your money right and that you don't have to go into panic. Okay. So, and this is a time karmically to heal your heart and the issues of your heart. Okay. This is the time. This is the season. This is no more wait. This is no more I'm going to see. This is no more I'm scared. This is no more of that. Okay. You got the point. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. If you had any other ahas, digestions, or questions from this session, any aha moment that you had while I was sharing, any resources that I referenced. Oh, one last thing. I want to do a book this month. I want to do a book this month. So when we come back together in Rebirth Woman, I want you all to have a reference. Lord have mercy. It's at the tip of my tongue. Happy Pocket Full of Money. I want everybody in the tribe to get Happy Pocket Full of Money. And we're going to do just a special Rebirth Woman reference next week to Happy Pocket Full of Money. So now my phone is ringing and I'm going to take this call. I love you and there's nothing you can do about it. I'm ending this call now and I'm coming, sis. 1 second. All right, y'all. See y'all on the other side. I love you and there's nothing you can do about it.